first charge is that Raj Kundra coerced actors and models into acting in these pornographic films.
For me, all these allegations are very ridiculous. These girls are coming out and talking and blaming every single man in the industry for getting them, for dragging them in the porn industry. They were doing it for themselves willingly, and now they're saying that they were forced and they were trapped. Nobody forces anything in Bollywood. I've been seeing Bollywood very closely since 15 years. Nothing forceful happens. If forcefully anything happens, that's called rape, and this is a film industry. It's not a rape industry.
I don't deny that I have done bold films in my career, but when I did those films, and now when I was coming back with web series, what I was presented was that this is the only thing which is going on, and you have to, because you have done bold in the past, we want to present you for more bolder projects, and these web series and these channels are linked internationally. I definitely wanted to work with Hotshot because it has got a big name in the past, but then what he mentioned is that you have to be nude on a video call right now in front of me so that I can cast you. The way he actually spoke to me wasn't right.
What is criminal clearly. You know, the law will take its course and give justice. But the only reason why I stepped in this was because I've seen FIRs and I've seen illegal contracts. I've seen contracts even in this case which clearly state that you will have to, you know, indulge in nudity, obscenity, kissing, etc., which is illegal. It's not enforceable. You cannot, you know, ask through a contract. You can't force nudity via a contract like that in my country.
I have been offered for some web series for Alt Balaji and all, and when the casting director called me up, everybody knows that I'm India's first transgender model and actress. I don't mind doing bold scenes, but there is a limit. What I want to do, what I cannot do.
Do you believe that Parliament is the best forum to debate this issue, or do you believe because there's this deadlock in Parliament, it's the Supreme Court that should be looking at these allegations which are of a highly sensitive nature that could involve questions of national security?
There is no reason why government should say no for a debate in Parliament, because, you know, right to privacy is one of the most sacrosanct rights of human beings. And if that right is violated, as you know, obnoxiously as it has been through Pegasus, then I think government owes an obligation to the nation. It has a constitutional duty to allow the debate and, you know, confront the issue.
The issue is really about two things, about privacy and about conformity with the law. Now let's be very clear, whether it's the Information Technology Act or the Telegraph Act, surveillance of individuals is legitimate and possible in certain regulated circumstances, highly regulated circumstances. The question that really needs to be asked is this a regulated surveillance? If so, there will be government records to that effect. If it is not a regulated surveillance, then it's a breach of the law, and that needs an inquiry. And the simplest evidence for that is anybody's phone device who claims to have been tapped. The point is that will show a electronic memory to show that the phone has been accessed, and when the software was installed, and when it may have been pulled out, or whether it still exists. And that memory will remain in the hard disk or the memory of the phone, of the instrument, and that's simple enough.
What explains this advisory and the notice to the Mizoram police? Is this natural or is this deliberate escalation, Kaushik?
Unlike in the past, when the clashes happen between governments, between people to people, this time the clash happened between the police forces, the Assam police force and Mizoram police force. And what we saw, that Mizoram police force fired at Assam police. There were provocations from both sides, but usually what happens when a police force goes into someone's terrain, thinking that this is my terrain or their terrain, so the clashes happened. And in this case, what happened is that Mizoram police assumed that Assam police has encroached into their area, and they started firing. And this is exactly both the Mizoram side is saying. Now, this is unprecedented because there could be discussion, and in fact, when the crisis happened, an SP from Mizoram police, he was in discussion with the Assam police team, but even then the firing happened. So there is something more to this event which needs to be probed.
The real thing that started the firing is that Assam, with the 200, more than 200 forces, heavily armed police, led by IGP, DC of Kachar and DFO of Kachar, they came up to Outer Rexo stand inside the Mizoram, and then they even brought prison vans. They even brought ambulance. Why did they brought ambulance and van? So when the citizens, the local people of Vairengte tried to stop them, these Assam people start firing. First they do lathi charge on them, and then they start firing tear gas and bombs.
While there's some disputes about the 1933 line or 1875 line, what is important for us to resolve and to end this problem is to understand all that came to an end on 15th of August 1947. A new constitution came into effect in 1950, which has the power to impose and draw new boundaries and states, and that's the basis in which Lushai Hills became the Mizo Hills and Mizo Hills became Mizoram, is under this the power of this constitution. So what we need to understand is there are many constitutional remedies, but armed violence is not one of the
Absolutely.
ones that exist.